Hello again, denizens of the interwebs. Welcome back to the Deplorable Batcave podcast. I'm your returning host, after much computer death, much sadness, and many lost faps, Spartacus. Joining me in our discussions tonight are returning guests, which is always good. At least we haven't scared them off yet. From left to right, we have Blippity Blop.
Good morning.
Or evening, whichever the case may be. It's morning somewhere. Seawall.
Help. They pulled me into a van. I don't know where I am.
God damn it, Blop. I told you this was supposed to be voluntary.
My mistake.
And our final vocal commentator, Wandering.
Go fucking a white male!
Only on Thursdays. We do have a silent commentator with us, Rugerty. We're glad to have you here. Wish you could speak with us, but we will respect your silence.
Yep, and he can be the peanut gallery since I am recording the text chat.
Oh, good. We always have room for peanut gallery. Unfortunately, levity must be put aside. We've been absent for a while, and unfortunately, we return with another horrific terrorist attack. The Manchester suicide bombing at a Ariana Grande concert.
22 dead. I think the numbers are, over 100 injured?
No, 22 dead, 59 injured.
Okay.
The youngest person killed.
Something like 120 injured, and I believe that's Pfizer.
Yep.
Yeah,
I can look up the most recent numbers.
And people are still missing as well.
the youngest person to be killed yet was an 8-year-old girl at that concert. So there's that.
Apparently, according to the Telegraph, take that as you will. First thing I pulled up on with Google Foo is 22 dead. So we have 22 dead, 59 injured, according to the Telegraph as of 2 hours ago. But they're legacy media. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They're still in the 24-hour news cycle.
Well, I think Breitbart, which is a little bit faster, is saying similar numbers, 22 dead. I think they have a slightly higher injured count, but it's hard to say. Though there are, as I said, multiple still missing.
For those who aren't aware, it was a suicide bombing by, shocker, a Muslim who I believe was born in Britain?
No. It's of Libyan origin.
Okay, he is a Libyan.
Actually, you might be right. He might.
His parents were refugees from Libya. They had I think 4 kids, and he was the second oldest. And there are unconfirmed reports that in recent years the entire family moved back to Libya, except for himself and I believe his older brother. But he is first generation after a refugee immigrant.
Right, but he was actually born in Britain, right?
He was born in Britain.
So he would be British then.
Yeah, he would be, by anyone's definition, a British citizen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was radicalized in one of those heavy Muslim areas.
Well, yeah, that's like becoming like big, huge spots of Britain, so that doesn't hurt that much.
We'll go into detail on that.
But ISIS has claimed responsibility for the bombing.
Surprise.
Yeah, and if I'm remembering right, he was. Sorry, I'm trying to remember. He was raised in, I think, an area that is several miles south of Manchester, but I could be wrong. I believe it is one of the Muslim enclaves south of Manchester is where he was raised.
Well, I'm not sure exactly where he was raised, but Manchester, to put into context for those who do not live in the UK, Manchester is considered the second city in terms of size and importance.
Yep.
You have the Greater Manchester area, Manchester itself, but you have these sort of satellite towns and suburban areas, some of which have very high concentrations of Muslims. So it's possible that he's from there, but I haven't read into that. I mean, I do have a name here. And this is from a Breitbart article, so make of it what you will. Apparently, it's Salman Abedi, and that was named by CBS News.
Yeah, I believe his name was revealed in a press conference by the Manchester police.
I want to tackle this because this is, aside from the attack itself, which is extremely upsetting, what angers me is the level of complicity in covering this up and trying to make it seem as some sort of isolated incident. There's only so many times you can have a series of isolated incidents when a pattern starts to emerge. And they're all sharing...
Actually, Paul Joseph Watson actually put out a post today that apparently the pattern is, just in 2017, we've had an Islamic terror attack every 9 days in Europe alone. Every 9 days.
Well, this is something that is not going to disappear easily. We're talking about girls and teenagers. And
mostly
dead.
Mostly teenagers.
Mostly teenagers, but
an 8-year-old child.
Yeah.
But this wasn't a shopping district or.
This wasn't public.
Something that specifically targeted adults. This was a teen
event
concert.
Yeah.
Specifically targeting children.
Yep.
This wasn't a public area, so this guy had to.
This
wasn't a public area. This guy had to go. This guy went in there. This was a specific target. This wasn't just targeting some opportunity, blowing himself up in a public area. No. Mm-hmm. This was a tightly packed arena full of girls and teenagers and children.
Well,
I don't know.
From what I understand, he didn't do it inside of the concert. He did it in the foyer outside of the concert after it was over. There were multiple videos of people kind of hanging out inside, waiting for the accused to clear out so they can leave when there was an explosion sound. So,
yeah. One of the things that really gets me here is he was on the watch lists.
Yes, I was going to get to that.
Yeah.
But they didn't deem him an active threat.
Well, this is the second attack in the UK in which that has occurred. This is somebody who's known to the authorities, but in order to mitigate any potential fallout of the accusations of Islamophobia and racism and the usual slurs, people have had to die. Innocent people, in this case children, have had to die.
For them to take him seriously.
But they're not going to take this seriously because we already see the same factors. The first thing I saw, which utterly sickened me, was Google had to have this little black ribbon in remembrance.
Google.
Then you have the vigils. Then you have the changes of Facebook profiles.
Oh, the usual song and dance.
The usual song and dance, which achieves nothing aside from drawing attention to the people who have made those changes to their profiles.
Yeah.
It's self-aggrandizing. It's
virtue signaling.
It's virtue signaling. It's utter vanity.
Speaking of vigils, there's an additional story with one of the vigils. I'll come to it at the end of this. Just keep that in mind.
Okay. I'm trying to remember that.
Yeah, I also heard from one of the people who actually attended the event. There was barely any security down there. They didn't get pat down. Didn't have to empty the pockets. We just walked right in.
How many people were attending this concert? Out of curiosity.
I mean, it's
probably thousands.
Yeah, it's Ariana Grande. Though I hate her music, other people would love.
So would this have caused more of a? Would this have registered more in terms of priority for the authorities had hundreds of children been killed? would that have been better? But what will it take to avoid this consistent pandering and...
At this point,
we're entering a perfect storm in Britain for there to be a zeitgeist change. With people like Tommy Robinson becoming much more prominent, and them and the authorities being unable to shut him up through the recent release after arresting him, and his partnership with a alternative media source, the Rebel.
Yes.
He's already on the ground in Manchester speaking with the families. He's doing more than what the authorities are doing. He is only increasing his cred as a folk hero. And if he gains enough popularity, I think the Tories might have the balls to steal planks from his platform. Because they know if they're not careful, Tommy Robinson could sway elections for them.
Well, I want to get to the elections later, because I don't want to steal the thunder from something that I consider to be much more...
Well, at this point, we have to wonder, okay, where the hell are all these apologists going to draw the line? They molest and rape children. We fall back. They attack and murder people in broad daylight. We fall back. They're murdering children just out for a concert. And they're falling back. Where is the line?
You can't appear to be racist.
When the moments when they're kneeled to the ground and there's a sword placed to the back of their neck is the moment they will realize that they fucked up. And even then, I'm not sure.
I'm sorry. The line should have been drawn years ago. This far, no further. And, yes, I am stealing that scene.
A proper response by the British public should have been, since this guy was known to the authorities and all this stuff, they should be standing outside of the whatever police station he lived closest to with a sign.
Oh God, we're not even going to get into the police responses here.
Hold on. Why didn't you stop him? Why didn't you investigate him? Holding up those signs. And the mosque he frequented, they should be standing outside of it with signs saying either step up and turn in the terrorists or step aside and let the police do it.
Well, then they'll all be arrested for a hate crime.
Exactly, because hate crime.
Because the thing is,
crime is an actual arrestable offence.
Well, here's the thing, and currently on Twitter, British people that are saying negative things about Muslims in response to this attack, the virtue signalers are reporting them to the police to be arrested.
And this is one of those situations where maybe it's time to overwhelm the British authority and make it impossible to arrest people for these hate crimes. Make it so that de facto the law is no longer enforced. Because what if 30% of the British population was now guilty of this hate crime? How could the police handle that volume of people? It can't. It has to basically say, you know what, we're not enforcing this law anymore, and de facto the law goes off the books because they can't do it.
They can't. Which is why they make such heavy examples of a few.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, they're also using standard tactics. I mean, it's not only trying to get them arrested, but it's also public and social shaming.
Yes. But so they'll get fired. They'll get fired from their jobs.
They'll never begin. They'll be black. Basically, this is McCarthyism from the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah. But the problem is, if we don't start standing up now, the response later when people do wake up is going to have to be more extreme because more damage has been done.
The standing up should have been done years ago.
Yeah. So, then what's the end game here? Are we just going to have to roll over and lose?
But I have...
According to Sadiq Khan, we have to roll over. This is part and parcel of living in a big city, remember?
This is very emotional to me, I understand that. But I have a pit in my stomach with a strong possibility that this is going to be utterly meaningless. And that it will be business as usual until the next thing.
In 9 days.
Somewhere in Europe, 9 days.
So, are we going to have to hope that the bastions of the West will be carried by the former Soviet states in America?
Well, I'm thinking into something Tommy Robinson did state, and is that eventually the people will do what the police refuse to.
They'll take the law into their own hands.
Well, I mean, it's not an ideal thing, but if the police refuse to protect the citizenry, then what is their purpose at that point?
Exactly. It is what they're paid to do.
Yeah. And also, I think Donald Trump is playing a pretty smart move. He's shaming the terrorists.
Yes, he is. I saw that video too from.
It's unpresidential.
Oh, what did Trump do?
God. Oh, he called them
Losers.
He called them no-life losers. Losers at life. I'm sorry.
I mean, if you didn't spend that much time just to kill people.
Well, the thing is, even one of my favorite reporters, and this hurts because she was bae. Kat Timpf even said that we shouldn't stoop to name calling for this. I'm like, no, we have to shame these people. We have. Their whole thing is about honor and dignity, supposedly honor and pride. Well, no, we need to shame these people because what they're doing is beyond shameful. It's barbaric. We left this kind of mentality behind with the Renaissance and the Enlightenment hundreds of years ago.
Yet some people still cling on to the ideas of martyrdom through suicide bombing.
But they're just not doing the religion correctly.
Oh, just like socialism?
Anti-communism?
I am just worried about the end game.
Eventually, enough people are going to get pissed off at the lack of response because the pats on the head and sending them off to bed, eventually the children are going to wise up, realize something's going on in the middle of the night that they're not going to like.
Well, the problem is the United States, we have, for the most part, woken up because we have a few advantages that Europe doesn't. Europe still has the hate speech laws, and the problem is, I'm sorry, Blip, but Europe has never been free. There's always been an aristocracy. You've never had true liberty like the States.
No, that's
you shifted from monarchies to elected monarchies. That's the difference between one's elected, one isn't. So what's the difference?
That is true. However, there has been the fostering of liberty and liberal values in Europe. More so, to my knowledge, than any other place in history. However, our values are used against us.
Yep.
Like I was intimating earlier, call me anything under the sun, just do not call me a racist. And these children and the girls from Rotterdam and all over the country are the sacrificial lambs for all this.
Yep. Well, when it comes to trying to force the Overton window in one direction, it always springs back harder in the other.
I mean, I'm thinking back to the London riots, the riots that erupted across the country in 2011. And it was a particular area in London where the police were not doing anything but shopkeepers banded together with baseball bats to protect their businesses, to protect their property. The rioters did not go there.
Yep.
They saw what they were up against. They did not go there. So, in a similar fashion, the police continue to ignore and impotently deal, or rather not deal, with these horrendous attacks. People will take it into their own hands. Because somebody out there has lost a child.
Yep.
Or two.
So for each person that has died or has been injured, that's somebody's family member.
Yeah. What is there? There were reports that some girls had lost limbs. Imagine having to, you go every day and you look at it. That's a daily reminder, and it's all it takes would be for one of these girls' families to stand behind someone like Tommy Robinson saying he has the right idea, support him.
Yeah.
And then that's it. It's going to be downhill from there. And I don't know if I would call it potentially civil war starting in Britain, but I could definitely see civil unrest.
Well, we've had these sorts of riots before in the past. There were riots in Oldham and Burnley, race riots. Or rather, well, they were called race riots by the media, but I'm pretty sure that they were religious riots.
Who are the instigators?
Well, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. It would be easy to point fingers, but a certain narrative is always fun in the press, so it's hard to say, because there were groups that exploited it from the far right. Yeah. That is definitely true. Spot, you wanted to bring up something about the vigil.
Well, there's a few other things to bring up before I get to that point. Other reactions to it, including the BBC, CNN, all these analysts saying that the whole bombing is could be a right-wing false flag.
What?
Here's the problem with them saying stuff like that. What happens when you are wrong with that statement? You basically lose more credibility. It's the smartest move for them, if they didn't want to, blame Islam for this, would be to just shut up about it, saying unknown or we are still investigating. But trying to say that it's the right wing,
they are doing that, Seal.
Yeah, but they're
adding this into the whole smorgasbord of trying to pull the wool over people's eyes.
People aren't buying it anymore, though. But the internet is faster than they are.
Yep. It used to be a lie could spread around the world twice before truth got its pants on. But now the thing is, the truth moves even quicker than that. Huh?
The virtue signaling continues unabated.
But people are starting to see through the virtue signaling too. Blippity. The reason why the virtue signalers seem so common is Twitter's manipulating it. Twitter's been known to manipulate search results. They're known for promoting certain people.
I have actually experimented with that myself
So, by saying that these virtue signalers are just they're being given a megaphone, and also you're also discount. I don't like calling them this because they're very hard to read, but the silent majority, and I think the silent majority is getting fed up with this, and I think one day we're just going to see the silent majority snap, and you're going to be going like, well, the things are improving. I didn't realize how pissed people were. I mean, what was it? I think it was a quote from St. Augustine. There are two emotions that come from hope. Let me check it so I can get it right.
Oh, yeah, the two daughters.
Two daughters of hope.
That's right. One of them was anger.
Yeah. Hope has two beautiful daughters. Their names are Anger and Courage. Anger at the way things are, and courage to see that they do not remain as they are. And I think people are going to become courageous. It's going to just happen suddenly one day, and there's going to be nothing that can be done to stop it.
The world's going to flip upside down.
You think courage would start with this event, or will we have to wait for another terrorist attack?
Sad thing is, I don't think this is going to be the one getting the ball rolling.
This is just building momentum. This is all this is.
Well, this is building up potential energy. The thing that'll kick the ball rolling, this isn't going to be the event, I'm afraid. Despite the horrific nature of it and the fact that there were children in the middle of it, this isn't going to be the event.
This is a catalyst, but it's not the one that's going to get us over the edge to the reaction we want. It's one of many.
This won't be the straw to break the camel's back, even though it should be. Any of the ones previous should have been.
Yep.
But as I was saying before about the vigils, just a side story. Apparently, during a vigil in Birmingham.
Birmingham? That's right. Is that Birmingham?
It's in the Midlands. It's a pretty large city with also a very large Muslim population.
It's kind of interesting that Muslims would end up in a town with such a non-halal name. Ham.
Stop it, Seawall. Stop it.
Anyway,
I'm trying to find a little bit of humor to break the somberness.
If you're into humor, do dark humor. That's the best kind.
Anyway, so apparently, a man showed up armed with a knife and a baseball bat at the vigil. And started harassing the people at the vigil.
I want to know some of the background of this gentleman.
They're not really. I can't find any details on the guy who was heckling everything.
I'm gonna make a quick prediction.
Hold on. There might be video. Let me look.
Okay. Because I'm just gonna kind of say this. If it was a member of Britain, the British National Party or the EDL or one of those organizations, then they would be spreading that far and wide.
All right. Apparently, they arrested somebody at the vigil. That's all I got. There's not a whole lot of video.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, Seawall, if it's somebody from the British National Party. The British National Party is a far-right party. Yeah. If it's from any of these groups, the media would be...
I know, they'd be all over it.
They would be all over it like a swarm of hornets.
The fact that they're not talking about it makes me think that this guy's a Muslim.
All right, so apparently it's all they're saying is a 39-year-old Birmingham resident who's known to have a history of mental ill health. That's the only information I have.
Yeah,
are we sure it's mental ill health, or is that just a?
That's the only information I have.
Yeah. If it was a white guy, they would at least partially identify him. I'm thinking this is a Muslim who's known for causing trouble in the area.
Hold on, let me look at the video.
What is the mental health illness, by the way? Since they don't even mention that, what kind of like?
Well,
I don't know.
They got nothing. Yeah,
right. They got nothing.
All right, so unfortunately, we're going to be talking in circles. Do we have anything else to add on this topic?
I don't. I'm still trying to process and.
Hashtag remove kebab.
I'll go get my accordion.
Okay, so we're gonna turn from horrific physical terrorism to horrific mental terrorism. Johnson C. Smith University, to students accused of criminal conspiracy, you have the obligation to remain silent.
Okay, Spark, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it supposed to be you have the right to remain silent?
That's only Miranda rights.
That's Miranda rights. That's specifically when you're being arrested by the cops.
Yeah. In this case, if they're being investigated for anything, I know.
There is madness to my method.
Yeah.
The basis being, if you don't want to say anything that might be later used against you in any way, shape, or form, it is prudent to keep your mouth shut. This, however, is dictatorial.
Link is in chat, so you can go ahead and peruse it, because I'm going to be reading bits of it aloud. This is coming from North Carolina's Johnson C. Smith University. Students accused of a widespread criminal conspiracy are being told that they cannot speak to anyone about it, chilling their right to speak out publicly or privately to an attorney.
No. You have every right to speak to an attorney when you're accused of a crime. An attorney has something called client confidentiality. By law, they cannot reveal anything except under very specific circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
About a matter of public controversy.
To somebody's life.
No. No, that's a psychologist, but I think it does apply to. I think it does also apply to lawyers. But the thing is, if they are being investigated for a crime, they have every right to speak to an attorney. That is their right. Something like this is a reason why we need federal administration to come into these universities and tell them, no, you will defend you will hand off all criminal investigations to actual police and have the courts handle it. Can you be a link in the chain that leads to a court? Yes, you could be saying, hey, we got a problem here. That's it. You do not collect evidence. You do not do interviews. You merely observe and hand off. That's all they can do.
Proceeding with the article at hand, at issue are more than 300 transactions, potentially involving dozens of students, in which money was added to students' meal cards rather than deducted. An anonymous student concerned by the charges contacted a local television station to share the email they received. And apparently this is text copied from the email. You are under investigation regarding allegations that you participated in a criminal conspiracy by which you illegally received funds from Red Mango and or Burger King at JCSU using your Flex Dollars identification card. Please be advised that this conduct is in violation of the laws of the United States and North Carolina, as well as the JCSU standards of conduct. As such, criminal prosecution and disciplinary action may result. You will be contacted between today and the beginning of classes in August to meet with me to discuss this matter. You are hereby notified that you must not discuss this matter with any other person. Doing so will have a negative impact on your case.
Do you know what that one line has done to this entire case?
Blown it up?
They've killed it. They sank their own case.
Yeah, they've killed the case. This is grounds for immediate lawsuit. This university is going to be under investigation, and basically that one administrator on a goddamn power trip. Or how about we rename all university administrators to Nazis, and that'll get them to cool their jets.
Probably not.
Yeah, but the thing is, if they say you may not speak publicly about this, but you may contact an attorney, that would have been fine, because under the law, you could argue that it's a little gray, but it's okay. But this is something that this should have gone through legal well before this. This should have been, because they said it violates U.S. law, it should be going to a law enforcement agency. The universities are not law enforcement agencies. If it was purely a code of conduct thing, then they do have certain abilities.
Well, actually, if you think about it, this is actually slightly worse when you think, because certainly it was between whenever they got this email and sometime in August.
Yeah.
Minimum 2 months.
Yeah.
So, it gets, now this increases in controversy because although the university is a private institution and not bound by the First Amendment's protection of freedom of expression, which I think is a load of shit, the university promises the students in its own handbook the right to speak freely on any subject in accordance with the guarantees of the state and federal constitutions.
So they're basically fucking up their own law they've written.
Well, yeah, it's in the that line is in the student handbook.
Yeah, they're fucking up their own law that the university wrote themselves.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a law; it's a promise.
What were you calling bullshit for a second there?
That it's a private institution and and is not bound by First Amendment.
No, it. I believe this school receives federal funds.
Does it?
I don't know. I just found this out a couple hours ago.
Okay, yeah, never mind then. But okay, yeah, if this is a public institution, then they have just violated the First Amendment as well as I think the Fourth Amendment.
Which one was that?
Let me double. It's the fourth, fifth, or sixth.
The article is from FIRE, Foundation for Individual Rights in Education.
Yeah.
And surely they would have mentioned that. But the fact that they themselves have said that it is a private institution and not bound by the First Amendment's expression.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm not talking about the free expression part. I'm not caring about that. I'm caring about that you might not talk to anyone for any reason. With any other, you must not discuss this matter with any other person. Here's the problem. They can't tell you can't contact a lawyer. It is within your rights for representation for any sort of legal proceeding. And because it straight up said this is in violation of U.S. and North Carolina law, If they're a private institution, that means they are acting as effectively as a court of law, and courts of law are public, and because they are a private institution, they cannot act as a court of law. They can act as an arbitrator, but not as a court of law. And also, under U.S. law, you cannot sign away your right to access to a court of law for any disagreement. What they are doing here is they are usurping the entire judiciary in the United States, which this could be grounds for this organization being investigated for some pretty serious violations of basic American rights.
Well, another question could potentially be: have they ever done anything like this before?
So you're gonna be able to join us for the rest of it, Rickety?
Yes.
All right.
So, what are your thoughts on this
particular article?
I have to kill my phone.
Deep thoughts indeed.
Yep.
I don't really have anything else to say on the topics.
They've tainted the case. They've shown themselves to be flip-floppers on guaranteeing rights, and they are attempting to act as a court of law. So that's three ways this entire organization is probably in pretty deep shit, I have to say. I mean, if this gets out widespread, this could be another Mizzou. This university could... Mizzou?
I don't know.
Remember the Black Lives Matter protest there, and now they're having to shut down dorms and beg for money because they lost so many students.
Yeah.
Lost millions of dollars in student revenue.
Yep. And I have also believed that they haven't reported yet, but donations from alumni have also dropped significantly as well.
Yep. Damn. All right. So next topic that I think we can bring up before we go into more crazy shit. Yep. Something that's, I guess, slightly more positive in the fact that it exists only. Or at least that's being reported on this way. It is a submission to the council at hand. A black man being accused of a hate crime in New York.
What's the premise?
Wow.
Give us the premise of the story.
All right, so I'll start reading the article. A white woman was assaulted on a Brooklyn subway by a black man railing against whites and mocking a black woman for trying to look white, police sources said. The NYPD's Hate Crime Task Force is investigating the incident, which happened at 7:15 p.m. on the number 4 train. The 32-year-old victim got onto the train and saw a black man spewing hate, calling whites and women dogs, sources said. He then focused his attention on a black woman, saying her hair weave meant she was trying to look white. When the white woman told the suspect to leave the other woman alone, he hit her with his baseball cap, then punched her in the mouth, cutting her lip.
Well, that escalated quickly.
When the train pulled into the next stop, the Nevin Saint station, he ran off, but witnesses gave police cell phone video and a cell phone picture. He's believed to be about 28 years old, 5'10", 250 pounds, last seen wearing a black baseball cap, blue jeans, and a tan sweater or vest. The woman did not require medical treatment. So,
well, I hope
so we don't know who it is. We know it's a black man who assaulted a white woman while spewing anti-white bullshit. And it's being investigated by the Hate Crime Task Force in New York.
This is the NYPD being racist, trying to bring another black man down.
That's right!
Oh, God.
I mean, obviously, the big elephant in the room here is the fact that this is being counted as a hate crime. Now, I know that this is somewhat fitting in terms of true equality, because now black people can be regarded as racist as well, and therefore deserving of a hate crime task force investigation.
That's
the point is that this propagates the whole nonsensical.
I realize that, but I realize that hate crimes shouldn't even exist as a concept, but if they're not going to go away, then they have to equalize the footing.
Yep. Well, the thing is,
this is only going to up the ante. It doesn't level the playing field because academia and the media now has to bring in a new element to prove how white people are X, Y, and Z, and therefore
I think they've run out. I think they've run out of adjectives.
I'm sure
don't underestimate them.
Concocted for that very purpose.
Don't underestimate them. Don't underestimate them, Spot. They always will find a way.
Well, they're inventing new words that just so happen to be the same thing as old words.
Well, okay,
as a reminder to our adoring fans and the panel at large, one of the favorite words that feminists like to throw around is mansplaining. The word already exists. It's called patronizing, which happens to be a masculine root word.
Patriarchy.
Then would it be matronizing for women?
No, we call it bitching.
Okay.
Or nagging. Dealer's choice. But yeah. But yeah, it's just okay. Here's the thing: I don't like the idea of just because the motivation of the crime is some form of bigotry, that it's any worse than someone committing the crime for another reason.
Yep.
If somebody was punched in the face, is it a worse of a crime if it was for his wallet or because he was X demographic?
Well, I would say this is when you do something with a degree of intent.
Yeah, it's the intent.
With a degree of premeditation or with malice. Does the malice colour the crime itself? Well, no. If you smack somebody in the face, you smack somebody in the face. You assault them, unless it was an accident.
Yeah.
And even then, if you injure somebody through an accident,
it's negligent. It's negligent.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why we have different degrees. But I'm saying, you have here's a thought experiment. You have two people. One person is gung ho about stealing a wallet. The other person is gung ho about punching X demographic.
Hey, Ruggerty, you're showing up twice. What's up with that?
I'm going to put this under glitch. But,
all right.
Yeah, but you have the two individuals. They both go out and effectively commit the same crime of assault. One guy punches a guy trying to find his wallet. Turns out his wallet doesn't have any money in it. The other guy goes out and punches the guy of X demographic. Is it any worse of a crime because they planned for it? Is
yes,
one crime worse than the other?
Okay.
Comparing these two crimes together, is one worse than the other, even though they are almost identical in everything except for motivation?
Yes.
One's worse than the other?
Yeah. Motivation actually matters about why you did the crime.
Okay. So punching somebody to take their stuff is not as bad as punching somebody because they belong to X group?
No, I see where you're getting at.
I see. But
at the end of the day, it's the crime that has been committed.
Yeah, it's the crime. There is intent behind it. It's just the motivation is different. Yes, there are situations where I think where one is worse than the other. If it's just a literal mugging, the guy punches the guy and takes his wallet and then runs off. But the other guy, he not only punches the guy, but he kicks him when he's down and beats him to near death. Then you're then at that point talking about a different crime of aggravated assault or attempted murder.
Right, but we're speaking specifically about the single punch.
A single punch. Yeah, is it worse that somebody punched Richard Spencer for what he believes, or is it worse if somebody punches Richard Spencer because he's white? Which one's worse?
Somebody punching Richard Spencer, period. Because Richard Spencer's a goddamn hero.
No, I'm sorry. I don't like Richard Spencer.
Yeah,
neither do I.
Spartacus is trying to increase our viewer base.
He's just trying.
Neither will succeed.
I am fine with him spewing what he thinks is good ideas, but I just think he's an ass. I think he's got odious views, but you know what? He has every right to say them as long as he doesn't call for violence.
And
100% agree.
let him share his views. I'm pretty sure someone else would come with a better view than his. That's about it.
Exactly.
All right, let's
Ricky,
get
do
back
you
to
have anything you want to add on topic?
Okay. Well, if that's the case, well, I guess not. So this one's not going to take long. PewDiePie is relevant again.
Yay! Yay!
I'm so sick of him.
Well, he has been added to the Swedish national hate list.
His
That's
own
when
country
you know
hates
you've
him.
made it.
No. You misunderstand, Wandering.
Oh.
He's basically been added to the list of people who are basically thought criminals. They make hate speech.
He's in the same list, as genuine Nazis.
Oh.
I haven't actually seen the list, so it could very well be that the list is of fairly innocuous people. But my understanding is that the list is supposed to be the most egregious individuals.
Well, that's what the theory is. But the problem is, in Sweden, if you don't, offer your wife to be used by migrants, you're committing a hate crime. So that's Sweden for you.
It doesn't stop there if you believe Saitan. If you've watched his latest video about that.
He is back. Thank God. I was worried about the guy.
Yes.
What is it?
Totally,
You cannot stop the signal.
Totally nailed Diane Abbott.
Yeah. Yep. You cannot stop the signal, man. You cannot stop the signal. Hack the planet. God, that movie.
But so just a brief mention, something a little bit more light. Again, we kind of needed it. So yeah, Pewds. He is now national most wanted in Sweden because
he made a few jokes.
When I saw that video, I did notice that his subscriber count is currently at 55 million. It does seem to be going up.
It is going up.
Imagine
it's bad timing.
Imagine if PewDiePie opened up a Patreon, and 2, imagine if he started doing content like Sargon and red pilling, and just giving out red pills, man. Imagine that.
Oh God.
Well, see,
so
what's your wish? Because he.
So if anybody watches this and if anybody actually watches this, send this to Sargon, send this to Pewds. I want the Sargon PewDiePie JonTron live stream when.
Oh.
Yes.
Shut up and take my.
I will pay. Okay, I will pay for it. I will donate to everybody's Patreon for this.
How much you can donate to them?
Spartacus will give up a kidney for this.
I have 2 of them. I don't need one. I will not only give up my kidney. I will give up someone else's kidney.
Just like. Oh God.
All right, but now we go from the world of Lazarus, the world of what the fuck is going on in the world. So, this particular topic caused 3 different brains to halt the instant they heard it. Specifically mine, Blops, and Seawalls.
It took me a second to figure it out.
All right. Follow me with this one, people. So, this is coming out of Florida. The story begins with a neo-Nazi.
There was once a little neo-Nazi.
He converted to Islam.
And he made the
imam?
Stop. Let him tell the story.
And he then killed his neo-Nazi roommates because they didn't respect his religion.
Allah Hitler?
Well, I thought neo-Nazis were atheists. Like, the actual Nazis were atheists.
Not anymore.
Well,
apparently now they're neo-Nazis are just Muslims in waiting. So, we have Devin Arthurs, 18. He led the Florida police to the bodies of his roommates who are around his age. Hold on, I will link. Even though it's the Independent, it's the.
Oh goodness!
It's the cleanest looking article of the bunch. Because everything else was like ABC.
Oh my goodness! Look at his eyes.
He looks like a fanatic, doesn't he?
He's gone.
Dude,
But this is how that Elijah Wood movie actually ended, right?
Well, actually,
no. These eyes, these are Manson eyes, man. Those are Manson eyes.
Yeah.
Well, you want to know the best part? The joke's already going around on Twitter that this is going to be the next Elijah Wood role. This will be the next Elijah Wood Oscar-winning performance. Just tell me that doesn't look like a psychotic Elijah Wood.
Okay. Teaching. It's going to be called Teaching Neo-Nazis About the Religion of Peace.
I can already see the first mosque built in the Shire.
But anyway,
Mein teacher, mein imam, I require everyone else's shit.
Yeah.
So he led them to the bodies of the people he killed and revealed bomb-making materials and white supremacist propaganda owned by them.
So basically, arrest these people that I just killed.
So,
reading
the actual article itself now. Florida man told police he killed his two roommates because they were neo-Nazis who disrespected his recent conversion to Islam, and investigators found bomb-making materials and Nazi propaganda after he led them to the bodies. Arthurs, 18, told police that he had until recently shared his roommates' neo-Nazi beliefs, but that he converted to Islam. According to court documents and a statement that the Tampa Police Department released Monday. Arthur is being charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of aggravated assault with intent to commit a felony, and 3 counts of armed kidnapping. Court records did not list an attorney for him. In the Tampa apartment with the victims' bodies Friday, investigators found Nazi and white supremacist propaganda, a framed picture of Timothy McVeigh, and explosives and radioactive substances, according to the court documents. How the hell did they get radioactive shit?
You can get it in all sorts of household. You can get it in a smoke detector and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
They also found a 4th roommate, Brandon Russell, crying and standing outside the apartment's front door in his U.S. Army uniform. That's my roommate, Russell. He doesn't know what's going on and just found them like you guys did, Arthur told the police officers, according to the report. Holy shit, that sounds cold.
Donuts, the bomb-making materials are his.
Federal agents arrested Russell, 21, on Saturday on charges related to the explosives. The FBI said Russell admitted to his neo-Nazi beliefs and said he was a member of a group called Atomwaffen.
Oh, never mind.
Atomwaffen.
Which is German for atomic weapon. They were trying to build a nuke.
But the USA did it first.
2-time chance.
Major Caitlin Brown, spokeswoman for the Florida National Guard, confirmed that Russell was a current member of the Florida National Guard, but she couldn't immediately provide any other information. Arthur started the chain of events Friday when he held 2 customers and an employee hostage at gunpoint at a Tampa smoke shop, police said. He was complaining about the treatment of Muslims. He further informed all 3 victims that he was upset due to America bombing his Muslim countries.
Well, we should just bomb them more just to piss him off. Just like
Officers talked Arthurs into letting the hostages go and dropping his weapon and took him into custody. While in custody, police said Arthur started talking about killing 2 people, and then he directed them to a condominium complex where the 4 roommates shared an apartment. I had to do it, Arthur told police. Holy shit, this guy is Manson.
Yeah.
Inside the apartment, they found the bodies of 22-year-old Jeremy Himmelman. Wow. Really, Himmelman. And 18-year-old Andrew Onishuk. Both had been shot. Police called in the FBI and a bomb squad, which found enough explosives to constitute a bomb, according to federal agents. First, Russell told agents that he kept the explosives from his days in the engineering club at the University of South Florida in 2013, and he used the substances to boost homemade rockets. The agents wrote that the substance found was too energetic and volatile for those types of uses. Russell has been charged with possession of unregistered destructive device, unlawful storage of explosive material. Court records did not list an attorney for him either. Andrew, well, my God. Andrew Arnheimer A notorious computer hacker and internet troll wrote a post about the killings for the Daily Stormer, a leading neo-Nazi website. Ahrenheimer, known online as Weave, said in Sunday's post that he knew the shooting suspect and both the shooting victims. He said he banned Arthur from the Daily Stormer's Discord server, an online forum, for posting Muslim terrorist propaganda earlier this year. He came in to convert people to Islam, Ahrenheimer said.
At the Daily Stormer.
I know. Ahrenheimer said during a telephone interview Monday. It didn't work out very well for him. Ahrenheimer described Himmelman and Onashuk as friends of friends, and said they belong to the Adam Waffen group. Adam Waffen are a bunch of good dudes. They've posted tons of flyers with absolutely killer graphics at tons of universities over the years. They generally have a lot of fun and party, he wrote.
That's degenerate.
I would want to know how much of that nuclear material they had and how much explosive they actually had. Because
the radioactive material is probably quite minuscule.
Yeah. Cause I think you can actually buy, I think it's yellow cake uranium is actually very easy to get a hold of legally. And you can buy samples of it.
So again, just to sum up the whole story, neo-Nazi converts to Islam, kills roommates that are neo-Nazis because they don't respect Islam. Just to wrap up the whole thing.
Does Florida have the death penalty?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think it does.
Okay, because...
he's got murder, kidnapping, assault.
Multiple possession charges of materials that could be used for terrorism.
So he's boned.
Yep.
Of course, I don't think he cares either.
No. If they don't, then... even whether they do or they don't, he's going to be surrounded by more of his ilk. And he'll be regarded as a hero.
No, okay. If he gets sent to Florida jails...
They'll beat him alive.
Yeah,
they would kill him.
Yeah,
don't you guys also have an increasing number of radicalization in prisons?
It's concentrated in certain areas. I don't think the Islamists are in Florida, at least not that much. Also, if he's sent to federal jail, he's gone. They're going to put him in solitary. He's never getting out. That's assuming he doesn't get death row. I mean, this could become a federal crime, what he's done.
Well, especially considering a member of the Florida National Guard was involved.
Yeah. The explosive charges and terroristic materials is a federal crime, not a state-level crime. So if he's sent to federal pen, you're never going to hear of him again. He's going to be gone.
He probably is going to be sent to a federal prison because a bomb. He was going to build a bomb, for God's sake.
Well, I think his. Well, remember, he converted to Islam, but he was formerly a member of a neo-Nazi group that called themselves Atomic Weapon.
Yeah. I would want to know what they were trying to build.
Well, my first thought would be an atomic weapon, but
a very, very basic dirty bomb.
Probably.
Yeah, but even from what I understand, dirty bombs actually require quite a bit of radioactive material to be effective.
They do, but if it's going to be an extremely crude device, probably amass as much publicly available radioactive materials. A mass of smoke detectors and the like. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so one last thing, and this is the thing Seawall is bringing to the table, the skeptical feminist shooting. Seawall, this one's all yours.
For those that don't know, which is all one of you on the internet, hi, and apparently you're also following us. I don't know why you're doing this, but sure, we'll take the view. Last Saturday, I believe, a man named Alexander Kupa, let me double check the name. Let me double check the name. Let's see. Alexander Kolpakov. Alexander Kolpakov was arrested and charged with second-degree murder of Heather and Abel. That's a weird last name. Who was also known as Ivy, after taking shrooms. In initial reports, there were claims from Heather, another girl involved with them, that he suffered a PTSD break, and combined with the mushrooms, he thought that Ivy was going to kill him, and, well, he shot her on the front lawn. Police were called. He was arrested. The issue is the PTSD claim, because they've claimed that he was at one point active military service and deployed. It has been confirmed by multiple people that he was never deployed. This is now a case of stolen valor, which means, well, the prosecutor's going to use that to sink him with the jury. He's done. His best option at this point is to sign whatever plea agreement they offer him, no matter how bad.
Thanks for the update, Sewell.
Yeah.
Okay. Any closing topics, Scott?
Well, here's a telling one. Apparently, let me look at this a little closer. Co-founder of Twitter, quote, "I thought free speech would make the world a better place. I was wrong." That was from
All right.
Twitter co-founder and Medium creator Evan Williams.
What was it again? My brain kind of froze.
I thought free speech could make the world a better place. I was wrong.
God damn it.
Well, you could always move to North Korea. Permanently.
Congratulations, you've just killed your investor confidence. Great job.
But yeah, basically he says that if Twitter hadn't enabled free speech, that Trump wouldn't be president. So therefore, he apologizes for Twitter.
Yeah. Yes, because Trump won through Twitter. Yes. Oh, God.
That was one medium, but the thing is, well, they're bleeding users by trying to crack down on free speech. More than likely, they would, if they never did the whole free speech thing to begin with, they would have never taken off. It would have been something else like Minds.com.
But Minds.com is still minuscule in comparison. They may be hemorrhaging users, but they still have a gargantuan user base.
Yes, but here's the problem. Twitter has not turned a profit once. The investors are getting pissed, and if there's a class action lawsuit, there goes Twitter. It's going to be shut down and sold for parts to get the investors their money back.
And is that likely?
Fairly, as it continue. Basically, every day it gets worse and worse and worse. I mean, have you seen the Twitter stock recently?
I have not, but I can imagine what it looks like.
Oh, God damn it.
Okay,
I'm perusing Twitters. It's just getting... we have a quote from a young Pharaoh Allah.
Let's keep this as the last one, because it is...
Yeah. All right, over an hour already.
All right. We'll just abandon this then. We're done.
Yep. But to kind of let you know, they're currently at 18.15. When they first started selling, they were over double that at 41.65, and that was 4 years ago in November when they first started trading. They spiked at highest to $69, and they've been just bleeding out ever since. Their lowest was April of this year at 14.30. They have since spiked up to 18.15. But again, it's back on a downward trend. So they had a slight spike and they're going back down.
Well, I shall be watching this one with popcorn.
Yep.
All right. unfortunately, I don't have any material for Keck or Cringe tonight. Just because, well, this is a very impromptu thing, and I just got my computer up and running. So I've been out of the loop for a couple of weeks, folks. I still have to get caught up on all the bullshit that the world is thrown around in my absence. Once I've guzzled enough bleach to purge the memories, I will be able to rejoin you in La La Land.
Yep.
So, that concludes this week's Deplorable Batcave podcast. I thank all 0.5 of you for watching tonight, because God knows you only have half a brain, so you only count for 0.5. So, closing thoughts, gentlemen. Blippity blop.
I mean, I can't say anything that would truly encapsulate the anger and resentments of the silent majority in the UK, but it is my profound hope that people extricate their heads from their posteriors and take action and reclaim the country from tyranny.
All it will take is for Tommy Robinson to get enough popular support, and, well, the Conservatives will do that for you. You know the Conservative Party is better than us, Blip.
I hope so. I mean, the election is now of this hangout 2 weeks away, and it's looking like it's going to be a landslide victory. But it remains to be seen. Anything can happen from now until then, and more importantly, even if they get in, will things be different?
Well, that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother video. So Seawall, closing thoughts.
I'm hoping Trump builds the Wailing Wall 2.0 between the United States and Mexico, so the Wailing Wall doesn't feel alone anymore.
You're gonna love it.
Well, actually, it won't be the Wailing Wall. It'll be the Taco Wall.
Sure, we'll go with that. But I'm. On a much more serious note, I am hoping that that they find out what the story was with that woman acting strangely around the event is, whether she's just somebody who was just coincidentally acting weird and looking at that location, or if she's a conspirator. I'm hoping they can find her and figure out what happened. You know, I know this sounds like virtue signaling, but, you know, I hope those injured get speedy recoveries, and those who have lost loved ones can find peace and closure.
Moving words, Seawall. Wandering, closing thoughts.
Make Europe great again.
Normies, get out.
Ray!
Fuck you both.
But anyway, so thank you all for joining us tonight. We hope to see you next time we actually decide to get off our asses and do something. So, this is Spartacus, bidding you all a pleasant day, and Normies, get out.
No!